What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Seven Figure Flipping Podcast. This is Bill Allen. Today, I have another teen on the show. This is another teenager that made over $22,000 on her first flip. And I'm really excited to share this one. Again, we are in a series about raising our kids right, building the entrepreneurship dream inside of them, having them follow along potentially in our footsteps, or just take the path that they're looking to take, open them up to it. I encourage you to listen to this with your kids or give this to your kids so that they can listen to it and find out if they're at all interested in this or they just think it's totally boring, mom and dad. So I know you're going to enjoy this show. This is Ryleigh Eckles. Absolutely incredible. She is the reason why we're doing what we're doing right now. She was the example. She was the first and made over $22,000 on her first flip. It's absolutely incredible when we break it down on this show.
My name is Bill Allen, and I'm the leader of a group of elite house flippers and wholesalers called Seven Figure Flipping. We don't brag or show off our success, but instead let integrity and stewardship be our guide. We are dedicated to helping people unlock the freedom they desperately need. If you ask other real estate investors, they will say to keep your secrets quiet. But we believe in abundance, not scarcity. And that's why we are the elite. We are Seven Figure Flipping, and this podcast is our playbook.
All right, everybody. I am back with another another person, house flipper under 18. So hey, guess what? If you're listening to this, we have multiple house flippers under 18 that are making money in the business. So if you're not, maybe you should figure out how to do that. So I'm hoping that these episodes will inspire you and also push you to do a little bit more yourself, but also to bring your kids into the business and how you can do that and things like that. So today I've got Ryleigh Eckles on the podcast. Ryleigh, good to have you.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're on, and you've been on before, right? Is this like your third? Is this your third one?
I think so, because I was on one with my dad, and then he was on three of them. I think this will be my third one, maybe.
Okay, I sat next to your dad on the airplane on the way to on the way to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico, and he said
he sent me pictures.
Well, he was telling me a story about this podcast, and he said, Ryleigh said, "Oh, hey, Dad, I have a podcast with Bill at 4:00 today." And he's like, wait, I'm not going to be home at 4:00. And you're like, no, you're not on the podcast, just me. Like, you don't need to be there. Like, what are you even talking about? And so we were kind of laughing about that on the airplane. So, okay, I'm glad that you're here. Tell everybody a little bit, catch them up a little bit about your story some. Give me like the cliff notes of your story of if they hadn't heard who you are.
Of like how I've got here and stuff like that. Yeah. Basically, my dad kind of exposed me to real estate at a really, really young age by listening to podcasts and honestly, and books and stuff. And podcasts is how I kind of like got up to this point. So the fact that I'm on one and a few right now is really crazy to me. But then we found this program, the Seven Figure, or I guess it wasn't called that back then, was it? It was
House Flipping Formula,
House Flipping,
I think.
Yeah, House Flipping Formula. And we met a lot of great mentors, and I guess my dad took me to properties and stuff, and I'm now here doing my own stuff as well.
Okay, so what are you doing now?
So when I tell people what I'm doing, usually I'll say, I'm doing the marketing, or I'm doing like just little stuff for the business. But I actually set a goal last year to like get my first property. And that's what we're here to talk about today, is getting that first property and helping out with the business with that.
Yeah, I remember early on it was a lot of like, hey, I'm helping my dad, I'm going to some properties, I'm doing some marketing, I'm doing those kind of things. But now you wanted to do one on your own. So so let's talk about that. Is this your first one? Is this you just finished the first deal that you've done on your own?
Yep, very first one. My dad only helped me with like little minor things because obviously I didn't want to like go bankrupt on my first one. So he would check numbers for me and stuff like that. But I mainly did most of it on my own.
Okay, so let's talk quick. How old are you? What grade are you in? Do you have a driver's license? That kind of stuff.
I'm 16. I am a junior, and I do have a driver's license.
Cool. Okay.
And in fact, with this house, I bought my first car with it.
Nice. Okay, we'll get there. Let's get there. So, okay. So what was it like? Let's talk a little bit about your kind of journey into it. You've been coming to some of our events like Flip Hacking Live and some of the the live events that we do, like the mastermind meetings, you like kind of, I think forced your dad to join the mastermind, and you come to some of the events. So what was that like? Like, were you immediately at a very young age interested in this, or did it take a little while for you to get interested?
I think it was pretty immediate because of what I was listening to and stuff. Well, at first I was kind of like, what is this? Because I would go to the properties with my dad, not really caring that much. I'd be playing on like the family computer or whatever at the properties, not really knowing what my dad was doing. But then when we were listening to podcasts and stuff, I started listening, and actually genuinely like getting my interest was like spiking like through the roof. I was like, oh my gosh, these people are making millions of dollars just by flipping a house. I think I could do that. And so I just kind of found that passion through it too, because just watching my dad through all this stuff, I'm just like, that seems like really fun and really cool.
How old were you then when you
I was in fifth grade.
10 years old.
Yeah, so I was like 10. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay, 10 years old, starting to get interested in it. I remember when I was 10 years old, I was starting to collect like baseball cards, and about a year or two after that is when I started like buying candy in bulk and selling it at school for a markup. And so that was my first kind of like entry into entrepreneurship. And then I started really selling a lot of baseball cards. Like I would go to baseball card shows. I think I was like 13 or 14. My parents had to drive me there, and I couldn't afford to make the cases. So at baseball card shows then, they had these like metal cases with plexiglass tops that were kind of expensive. So we built them, me and my dad built them 2x4s and like screwed in plexiglass to the top. So I'd like lift the case off my cards, like lay them out and put the case on so nobody would steal them. And this was at like the malls. We had like real malls that back then, you know, like the malls inside. You probably don't even know what that is. So I would go to the mall and we would set up all these baseball card shows. You'd buy a booth for like $40 a day or something. And I'd sell baseball cards and trade baseball cards. And so that was kind of like early entry for me between the ages of like 10 and 15 of entrepreneurship. And then I went on to start like a lawn mowing company and stuff like that. And then I went to college, went in the military, and just like killed off that. I don't know. It was like, oh, I'm supposed to get a job. I'm supposed to go do this. And it took till I was like in my mid 30s. Mid 30s. That was like 35 when I finally started like growing my business. So the fact that you are like,
not fitting those societal norms and stuff, going to college, get a good job kind of thing.
Yeah, it took me like 12 or 13 years or even 15 years to be like, I don't think this is me. And so, and so it's really cool that you're here. And I think a lot of people are figuring that out at lots of different times. So now 10 years old, you're starting to get that, and then you're starting to do some small jobs. And then it kind of came to the point where, at what point were you like, I'm just going to do this by myself? Like, why? I want to do my own.
Well, I don't exactly remember like why I decided, because I make vision boards every year, and I know that sometimes when I look at your Instagram, like I remember a video that you had put on there that was like, create a vision board even if you think it's stupid kind of thing. And I don't know, I just really like doing that, and I think everybody should create a vision board. But one of my visions on there was that I wanted to obtain my first property. And I kind of just like set that in the back of my mind, which was not a good idea. Don't do that. Don't set your goals in the back of your mind. Keep looking at them every day. And I finally I was just finally like, let's do it, when I saw Dawson up on stage, and I was like, how is it that this kid can do it? And I just set it back there. I was like, oh, it's a goal, but I'm just going to I have to just put in the action to do it, you know? So I think the biggest struggle for me with that, like getting started, was that I just put it back in my mind. And then it finally took just someone, you know, around my age or younger than me to just like kick it into gear, just, you know, so yeah.
Okay. I've got a very direct question I'm going to ask you. So 2 years ago, really a little over a year and a half ago, you and your dad were on stage at Flip Hacking Live.
Yeah.
Right? You were the first kid to go on stage at Flip Hacking Live and give a presentation. Right. And then last year, we had 2 other kids come on stage and give a presentation. You mentioned Dawson, who had done a deal, and then Sophia. How much of the competitive side of you caused you to leave there and say, screw this, I'm doing it? Like, because you were on stage before, and I don't know if this is true.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering now that you mentioned Dawson, and you
Mm-hmm.
saw a 12-year-old having like bought a house, fix it up, and rent it out, and you're like, I need to go faster.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I saw it, I was just like, how did I just not get started? Like, I know that competition is really good for this business, but the fact that I didn't have any of that really, because I knew that I was going to start young, but it was like, how young do I start, you know? And so I was like, I can't put this off for any longer. And so the fact that there were 2 other kids that went up that are around my age really was like, wow, like I bet this is what the adults at Flip Hacking Live feel when they're like all these other adults around here. Because I was only competing with like what the 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds doing it. Now it's getting younger and younger. And so I'm just like, what am I doing that they're not, you know? Or yeah.
So I love that that's true, because you're right, and you nailed it. The adults, that's exactly how we feel when we sit in those events. If they can do it, I can do it. And
I just didn't have enough competition to be like, oh, I really need to do this, you know?
Well, there's 2 options. There's 2 things that I see that happen. Somebody speaks at Flip Hacking Live and then says, oh, like they go in their shell and they're like, oh man, like you said, it's getting younger and they're doing it, or it kicks them into gear and they say, hey, I need to move. And I gotta move, and I gotta do this. And so I'm glad that it was the latter for you and not the first one, where you're like, oh man, like, gosh, I put it off a little bit. I said I was going to do it. It's taken longer. I've been doing other things, you know, school and being a kid and doing all this other stuff, where you were like, hey, I can do both. And so if you're listening to this, the same thing happens to you. I don't care if you're, 15 years old or if you're 90 years old. Like, when you see somebody else doing it, you got 2 options. You can say, oh yeah, they can do it, but I can't do it because of ... Or you can say, this is going to fuel me and I'm going to kick my butt into gear and get going. And so I'm glad you did that. And I'm glad you're honest about it. Like, it's really cool that you're right.
Yeah.
You were like the original kid in our community. You were the original young house flipper. You had the spotlight, you were on the stage, you were on the show and those kind of things. And now, you see some other kids starting to come up and try to take your crown, and you're like, no, that's not going to happen. Like,
But I'm also glad that we're inspiring like other people too, because it's incredible. Like, just the community that we built, and yeah.
Totally. And both of those kids, by the way, told me that the reason why they wanted to speak at Flip Hacking Live, why they wanted to do more, was because they saw you the year before. So both of those kids saw you the year before and said,
and then I saw them, and then I wanted to.
Yeah. And so this is really healthy. This is really healthy. Community
building on each other
that you're trying to lift each other up, not pull each other down. And by no means am I saying that they're knocking you off your throne in a bad way. It's really like, hey, and now what's going to happen? We're going to have kids at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I see Yuri's kids. Yuri's entire family. Yuri Berman's entire family is there, and his little kids are all involved in the business, and they're getting going. And then we've got this other guy named Ryan down in Florida, and his son Ollie is flipping his first house. And it's like, now it's starting to get into the ecosystem. The people are starting to say, well, hey, it's totally possible. Like, I can do it. And this is exactly what we're trying to do. And guys, if you're listening to this, adults, the kids are beating you. The kids are beating you to your dreams and your goals and your plans. Like, they're doing it because you know why? Because they don't know that they can't. Like, literally, a 12-year-old does not know that he can't do it.
This is all we've been knowing when we're growing up. This is all we've been taught, is that you can do it.
Yeah. And if you're an adult and you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, you're sitting there going, oh yeah, like you can do it too. Like, the problem is, you know too much of what can go wrong. And instead say, what if this works? What if it goes right? Like, what does my life look like? What is, I can quit my job. I can do all the things that I don't want to do. So, okay. All right, let's talk about your deal. So now we got the kind of the mindset, we got the framework of what happened. We got the past couple of years. Tell me about it.
So You want to know how a 16-year-old got that much money?
I want to know how you got that much money. I want to know how you found the deal. I want to know everything that I would want to know from anybody.
Okay.
Where did it come from?
Okay, so I started off, I left the event, and while I was at the event, I started talking to Brad Bader, who is one of the members there. He does contracting. He's the other Omaha investor contractor. So I started talking with him, and I talked with Mike Simmons about the 500K deal, or the 500K challenge. And I was also talking to him about possibly getting some private money lending. And then when I got back home, I looked at this list on Facebook. I got Facebook because I was like, I don't have it. I'm too young to even know what the people on there are doing. I bet that's what the adults think when they go onto Snapchat and Instagram.
That's right. When I went on Instagram a few months ago, I was like, I don't even know what these kids are doing. I'm trying to build it up now. I got 3,000 people, and you said you watch my videos, so that was cool.
Yeah, I do. And so I was going on the Facebook group for our local RIA meetings, and I saw that they have a list of wholesalers and investors and stuff on there. I put my name on the investor side of it, and then I looked at, I just started contacting wholesalers. That's just the first thing I started doing because I didn't really want to spend money on marketing like Sophia had done. So I just looked at who are all the wholesalers in Omaha. That's my market, by the way, is Omaha, Nebraska. And I had found this guy who was selling a house in Fremont, which Fremont is about 30-minute drive from Omaha. So it wasn't too far away. And so I looked at it, really, really great area for people in Omaha to invest in. And I went down there. I loved the house. It had so much potential. It was dirty, but it smelled like money. It was there. And let's see. Sorry, I'm blanking a little bit because
that's all right.
It's all coming at me.
So just so I'm clear, right in October, you went back and you started getting involved. You just started looking for wholesalers, trying to figure out how to work, not pay, right? You were trying to work your way in to get this deal. And you found a wholesaler that had a deal about 30 minutes away from you, and you went out to look at it. Did your dad go with you? Did you talk to the wholesaler?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I didn't have a car at this time, so I had to go on these deals with my dad. And so I talked to this guy. I negotiated him down. He was trying to sell it to me for $97,000. I negotiated him down to $95,000.
Okay.
And then it took, I think, only a few days. This was I think this whole thing went down after a whole week after Flip Hacking Live, or maybe 2 weeks at the most. And I got my first house.
So you were
it only took us 2 weeks.
You were jacked up after Flip Hacking Live, and you're like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to find something, and we're just going to do it.
Yeah, I think it only took 1 to 2 weeks. I could figure that out, but I won't right now.
That's awesome. So your dad, what about the numbers, running the numbers? You said your dad was helping you with that a little bit?
Yep. So my dad was helping me run the numbers. He was making sure okay, let's make sure that you can actually flip this house and make money on it. Let's see what the stuff we have to do in the house. I made the decisions with exactly where to save money inside the house and stuff. Because my dad, we didn't argue, but we kind of had different opinions about what to do with the house. Because he was just trying to help me. If it was his house, what would he do, kind of thing. And I was like, okay, well, it's my house. We're going to do this. So an example, for the countertops and stuff, they were in rough condition. I was like, let's save money and try to fix them. And he was like, let's just buy new countertops, or not countertops,
cabinets.
Yeah, countertops. Your cabinets, yes.
It was the cabinets, right? So he told me a little story on the plane. He wanted to put all new cabinets in there, and you just wanted to paint them and clean them up, right?
Yep. And it worked. And the house sold for a lot more than I was intending it was going to sell, which we'll get to that in just a
we'll
second,
get there. So So you made the decisions on the scope of work and all that stuff, but did you look at other houses, or is this like the first house you looked at?
No, this was the very first one.
Okay.
I didn't look at any other house. And I just got very lucky with that because I know that it's not going to happen like that every single time. But I just got lucky with the location was great. The person selling it to me, he, was helping, or not helping, but I negotiated him down enough to where it would help me out. So yeah, so the money, where I got the money to pay for this guy, we have a private money lender that I know because of networking and all that stuff. So I reached out to him and he gave me $120,000 at 8%, no points.
Whoa.
So it was, I asked him for that much money for 10%. And he was like, how about this? Since it's your first deal, I'll help you out. Let's do 8%. So he helped me out there because I had told him the story and like what I was doing and stuff. And so that's how that happened.
Man, that makes me feel really bad because I funded Sophia's deal and she asked me, what about 10%? And I said, how about 2 points and 12%? Because that's what I charge. And we kind of got stuck on that. So he helped you out.
It's also just building relationships.
Yeah.
It's also building those relationships and stuff. So I know that's not the case for everybody. I got lucky. I know I did. And I appreciate it because this guy, he doesn't even know how much he's helped me like jumpstart my career.
Well, just so you know, like this is the exact reason why I teach not to say this is what interest rate I pay, because you may have said, what do you want? And he says 8%, or you may have said 10, I'll pay 10. And he says, okay. So he might have been at 8% if you just asked him what he wanted. So I hope this lesson like forever goes out to all my community. Everybody listens to this. Do not say what you're going to give a private money lender. Let them say what they want to pay. And then if it's way higher than you were expecting, then negotiate them down to your number. It's just like when you're buying a house. Like this guy's not going to say, I want 97,000. And you're going to get the number that he wants first, right? When you go in and talk to a seller, you want to get their number first. We teach asking 7 different times, 7 different ways, over and over and over again to get the right price, get something out of them, get a number out of them, because you're in a weak position when you start with this is what I'm willing to give. Okay, so the private money lender, did he give you all 120K, or was it like purchase price plus rehab draw, or did you get all the money?
It was everything. It was for everything.
So he just put it all in the account. There you go.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So, yeah. So I got to purchase the property with that money. Then I used that money to pay Brad, who was my contractor on this project. And
so Brad was the contractor, Brad from the group.
Yeah, that's why I started talking to him.
That's awesome.
And he was a little bit more expensive than other things that I could have gone with, but he also managed the project for me, so I didn't have to go down to Fremont every single time I did something, So that was very, very helpful. I know I could have gotten a little bit more money, but it doesn't even matter. I think I'm just very fortunate to have had him manage that project for me, because it would have been a lot. It was less of a hassle than it would have been just to save, a few $1,000,
Time is money.
But
right?
Yep. Yeah. So I saved a lot of money by doing the switches on my own, the outlets on my own, handles, just that small labor work. And actually in I took a home maintenance class this last semester while I was doing the house, and I was kind of talking to my teacher about my project, and we were on the electrical unit and we were learning how to do just basic electrical stuff. That helped me save money on my house because I did that work. There was a bunch of electrical problems and stuff. And my dad and our friend, we all just went and did electrical work. They were doing the harder stuff that I couldn't do, like 4-way switches and stuff, but I did the simple stuff, and that saved me a few hundred,
So you're talking about replacing the outlets and the panel and stuff like that, like the covers.
And replacing like door handles.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
all that stuff.
any minor
So that
like
kind of little stuff.
handyman type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that little stuff, it did help save some for other things. And so I ran into quite a lot of problems. Not too bad of problems, but like I said, there was some really bad electrical work done in that house, and that it was really annoying.
So what was your budget? Was it $25,000?
My budget, so the original ARV was $159,000.
Okay.
And I had a budget of doing everything for close to, I'm sorry, I really can't remember.
It's okay.
I should have my numbers planned.
So you bought it for 95 though, and you got a loan for 120. So that leaves about 25,000 minus closing costs and stuff like that on the purchase.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
is
just
that
about.
the budget, like 22, 23,000, something like that? Or was it like, okay.
So I ran into some sewage problems and stuff, and that really went over, it went over my budget a little bit. So I had to go back, and I didn't want to ask the guy that I originally asked, the private money lender, I didn't want to ask him for more money because I wanted him to know that I could do this. So I went to other people. I went to Chad and Ashley, who, if some of you know, they're former members of the group, right? They're not in the group anymore.
Yeah. They're doing short-term rentals, Airbnb, stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah. So I asked them for a second loan. So they gave me $15,000 for 10%.
15.
15,000. And that helps me for the rest of the costs of what I had problems with.
How did you know to ask them?
Because they were already giving my dad a loan, and I was like, well, why don't I just like take that loan onto my house? And it was like this whole thing. It's kind of confusing, but basically my dad asked for a loan, and then I was like, let me take that actually, and we'll kind of split it with both of our properties.
Got it.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like gap funding that was able to be used, split across two properties. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so now you got a loan for $135K. You bought it for $95K. So you've got like $40,000 in costs, and then ARV was 159. How long did it take for you to fix up?
About, let's see. So I bought the property in November, so about 3 to 4 months, maybe.
Okay, 3 to 4 months.
5. We're in 8. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
When did it sell? When did it sell?
It sold we closed on it this month.
This month. So it closed on it in April. It's probably...
Yep, I closed on it on the 3rd of April.
Probably...
So I sold it in March.
It went on the market in March?
And it sold in like 48 hours, I think. Or I got about 7 offers in 48 hours.
Okay, so 4 months to fix it up. Let's just put it at 4 months. You put it on the market. You list it. You do some work. And then how many offers? 7 offers?
Sorry, I got 3 offers, 7 showings.
7 showings, 3 offers inside 48 hours. What'd you list it?
All of them, 160. Hold on. I was selling it for 162,000, I think.
Okay. So your ARV was 159 in the beginning. You listed it for 162, and you sold it for what?
Hold on. I can give you exact numbers. I have it all written down. Sorry, I didn't know if we'd have time for this, so that's why.
Oh, everybody wants to know the number.
Okay. Okay. Then I can give you exacts and stuff because I wrote it all down. I do not have a good memory for that. Okay. I listed it for $162,500.
Okay.
And I got 3 offers over asking in 48 hours. And I went with an offer of $169K.
169, so $10,000 over your original ARV.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and I rehabbed it for $37,837.
How much? 38?
$37,837. Now I can give you
$37,800 plus or minus $1, right? $37,837. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. I can't see
Sorry,
you
I don't
anymore.
mean to be
No, you're
confusing.
back. You're back now. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So 37,000, bought it for 95, fixed it up, put about just under $40,000 into it. There's 135, sold it for 169. The lenders got paid, 2 lenders, the realtors got paid, the contractors got paid, and you got paid. How much money did you make on this deal?
I made $22,168.
$22,160.
Just call it 22,000.
No, let's call it $22,168. We don't want that $168 buy you.
Sorry, $100.68.
Oh, okay. $22,100.
I had to get it down to the.
She got down to the penny, y'all. How many of you guys
down to the
got your
pennies.
deals down to the penny? But here's the deal. I'll tell you what. 10 years from now, you're going to remember that you made $22,100.68. And I remember that my first wholesale
68
deal.
cents is important.
Yeah, my first wholesale deal, I made $9,900. It was a $10,000 assignment fee, but $100 went to the attorney. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was game changing.
My dad said he made $8,000, $8,375 on his first flip.
$8,375. Did you tell your dad that you made almost 3 times as much as him on your first deal?
Oh yeah, he had to help me do the numbers.
Ah, cool.
So he saw it for himself.
So 22,000.
It was a teaching moment.
Yeah. I mean, this is incredible. That's really, really cool. What did you learn along the way?
I learned so much.
Give me top 2 or 3 things that you learned.
Okay. Well, first thing is that what one man can do, another can do. Andy's voice.
That's right.
Yeah, because seeing Dawson and seeing Sophia, just all of us like bouncing off of each other's ideas and stuff, just really, it was awesome. It was incredible to be doing that with them.
Do you feel like now you're more confident to go out and do another one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What do you think? You're 16 years old and you're a junior in high school. You just made $100.68. What do you feel like, looking back on your experience of being involved with your dad and in this world and coming to the mastermind meetings and things like that? Like what do you feel like some advice that you would give to some of the parents that are listening to say if they want to
expose your kids very young?
Okay. How?
Because it's hard, just like how I did, bringing them to the properties, exposing them by giving them books to read about it and listening to podcasts near them and stuff. And they will pick it up if they want, or they will throw it away, throw those opportunities away. But that's up to them. It's not really up to you. And I guess just exposure is the key to getting your kid involved.
Did you always enjoy it, or were there times where you felt like your dad would kind of pushed you there?
There have been times where I want to just hang out with my friends or whatever. And my dad will be like, well, like during this deal, I would want to set my priorities where my friends, I want to go see them and stuff. And he's like, well, how much is this costing you every day? And he would tell me, I would say it's costing me $49 every day. And so, yeah, he was kind of helping me be accountable. He wasn't necessarily pushing me. I've made these goals and stuff by myself. He just helps me along with it and supports me along with it. So I don't think you should pressure your kids. I think you should just, support them in whatever they're doing. And if they want to take the path of real estate, then that's awesome. Then just, keep doing what you're doing, exposure, supporting.
What about some advice that you have for the kids that are listening?
I would say listen to what your parents have to say about, because they really want to help you in this career. Like my dad, he says he's jealous. He's proud of me doing this deal, but he's also jealous. But he just really likes seeing that he raised me to be like this. And I think that just listening to what your parents have to say and taking that, to close to heart, and don't throw it all away just because you think you're too young or whatever. Because look at where that gave me. Look where I am now, thinking that I'm not too young to do this kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
And Sophia and Dawson.
Yeah.
all the other kids.
And Ollie and so many more that I don't even know about. What's next for you?
I think right now, I'm gonna complete school. During this deal, when I had this deal, it was the most stressful time of my life because I had wrestling, school, and a house going on with like relationships with people and just so much going on at once. I'm gonna take a break right now with flipping by myself. I'm gonna start doing more for the business as I always do. And next year I'm gonna think about maybe getting another flip. Yeah, because I'll be out of high school next year. So
cool. What now I lost my train of thought. I had a really thought-provoking question. Oh, I remember what it is. What do you do for fun? Like, are you still a kid or what?
Yeah. I love to hang out with friends and stuff, and God knows what we get up to. So, but
you mentioned wrestling. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm going to club right now for wrestling, and I'm lifting. I'm doing my own lifting. I'm doing lifting for school or at the school. And when it gets into season, I'm probably going to do club along with wrestling. So it just gets all hectic and whatnot, and I just don't want all that stress again.
Yeah. So high school wrestling. You wrestled for the team at high school. Are you good?
Yeah. I would hope so if I'm on varsity.
Varsity wrestling. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was a wrestler when I was in high school and before high school.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I wrestled all the way through my senior year. Went to the state championship in Maryland.
Oh, awesome.
It was a lot of fun. But I moved on and stopped wrestling and just went all in on soccer after that. So high school, college.
Did you regret that?
No, I played soccer since I was 4 years old. I love it. It's a good thing to do. I was tired of cutting weight. I was cutting weight when I was a freshman. I weighed 98 pounds and 103 was the lightest weight class. So I was weighing in with a sandwich and my warm-up suit, and everybody was pissed off at me. And then by the time I was a junior and senior, I was like cutting down 10 pounds down to 125 and 119, and I didn't like it at all. I have never had to cut. I mean, there are days where I don't eat anything for weighing in, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, some people can take that how they want to take it. Yeah, it was my least favorite thing to do, and I just got tired of it. So my senior year, I was just like, enough. And so that was it. I'm setting a big goal to make it to state this year. So, yeah, I've been doing clubs and stuff for that. Nice. I've been watching on social media, and I'm proud of you. It's awesome. Thank you. And it's really cool to see you do that. You get involved in real estate. You still have a life. It's really impressive. And you're right. It does get stressful and hectic sometimes. And I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a break or reprioritizing and trying to figure out what's next for you. So, all right. If people want to find out at this young. Oh yeah. If people want to find out more about you, what do you need? What can you ask for in your 30-second commercial, and how would they get a hold of you? You need money? My 30-second commercial? Deals over there in Omaha? Like, what do you need? What do you need? And how can somebody get a hold of you? I don't know. Right now, I think money, deals. Those are all great. And what did you say the second thing was? How can someone, if I got a deal in your area, where should I be looking? If I want to throw money at you because you're awesome, how should I send it? You don't have to give your bank account information, but like, should they reach out on your we've got page? Social media. Should they send an email to you guys? Should they check you out somewhere? Yeah, so we've got our Urban Firebird Home Solutions. That's our, I guess, our handle for almost anything. Instagram, Facebook, not Snapchat. I don't even know. Can you even do that kind of stuff on Snapchat? I don't use it that much. I've never been on Snapchat. And then we also have a website, dadanddaughterbyhouses.com. dadanddaughterbyhouses.com. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So they can send you a message on Urban Firebird Home Solutions on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. YouTube, yeah. Are you still doing that? Yep, we got YouTube walkthroughs. My dad is not pushing them out far enough, so I think I'm going to have to take over soon. Cool. Instead of just doing Instagram. It's one of my earliest memories of you is doing the walkthroughs on the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to see where it all started, you can go to Urban Firebird Home Solutions YouTube channel and check out young Ryleigh doing walkthroughs of the house with her dad. It was like my favorite thing in the world. And you can go back if you if you're in the mastermind and you can go check out Flip Hacking Live, all the recordings that we have that you have access to. So 2 years ago, her and her dad spoke on stage at the event. And then years before that, it was like 2016 or 2017, you were kind of like a celebrity on the video there of going to hang out with Justin and Tara and the family. So
I didn't even know that was going to be a podcast until Justin made it.
Yep. So I created a video of that event and all that stuff. So really cool stuff. I'm proud of you. I'm incredibly thankful that your dad brought you into the community, and it's been really cool to watch you and see some of your
Thank you so much.
the runway program and having you on stage and doing all that stuff. So, okay. Any last thoughts? Anything I didn't cover that you wanted to cover?
No, I think that's fine.
All right, everybody. Ryleigh's 16. She flipped a house, made $22,100.68, and you can too. What one man can do or one woman can do, you can do. So hopefully this gives you some inspiration and motivation, and you decide that if Ryleigh can do it, so can you. Not Ryleigh can do it because she's young and I'm old, or she's got this or that and I don't. But rather, this should fuel you and fire you up to go out there and take control of your life, take control of your finances, do what you want to do, like whatever that is. It might be flipping a house, it might be doing something else, but anything's possible for you. And literally, you can do anything you want to do. So hopefully you guys take this and run with it, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye. All right, if you want to hang out with kids just like this and have your kids hanging out with other kids that are just like this, that are making money in real estate, have big goals, big dreams, big plans, do not miss our 2-day wealth workshop on June 19th and 20th. The link's going to be in the show notes. I want you to get your ticket. I'll see you there. And I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you on the next one.